Hey, my name's Anthony Ficken. Welcome to the Diamond Dialogue podcast. One of the most special episodes so far, Superintendent Dr. White, the man behind the curtain. This is really an opportunity for us to kind of get to know Dr. White a little bit better. Dr. White, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about your past for those who maybe might not know all the great things you've done, from Principal of the Year to so many things.
Well, so Keith White, and I feel, first and foremost, just want to say how blessed I am to get to be the superintendent here at Diamond. This is an incredible community. I'm reminded by that every day. I mean, yesterday we had an opportunity with the storms and FEMA shelter and everything else, and we literally had everybody in our community here, and everybody cooperates so well, works so well together, and it's just a blessing. Ended with a board meeting last night, and just very, very thankful for the opportunity to be here, to be part of leading the change here in Diamond, and really just showcasing our district to all of Southwest Missouri, because we are, we talk about being a hidden gem, but we are an incredible school opportunity and community that most people just don't know how awesome it is here.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And, you brought up Be the Change, and I've never actually had the opportunity to ask you this question, so I'm kind of curious. Where did Be the Change come from? Did it exist before you came? Was that kind of your motto coming in? Because I don't know, I'm kind of interested myself.
So the very first summer, we're dealing with COVID, and there's a couple options with COVID, and that's to be afraid or be the change we want to see. So I was a past history teacher, social science education at Joplin, and so my roots are in history. And a couple of my favorite quotes, is Winston Churchill: "If we do not learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it," which I had that on my board every day with kids. And then be the change you want to see. And so we came up with that the very first summer. Chris Metlock was our activities director and new principal that year.
Yeah.
And so we were looking for a theme and a motto to start the school year, because we kick off every year with a theme, as you know. But our overall theme as a district is be the change. So, and that really comes back to just my roots as a servant leader. I've always had the belief that if you don't like something, if it's not as good as you want it to be, there's a zero excuse for complaining and saying other people should do it. If you want to see something improve, be willing to roll up your sleeves, get in there and do the things that need to happen to make it happen.
I agree, and I think we do an excellent job of living that. I mean, I try and tag it into the end of all of our videos that we do as kind of the motto. And for those that don't know, Dr. White doesn't like to brag on himself very much. In fact, I didn't even know this until probably the second year I was here. But you've got a lot of accolades to your name.
Well, hold on, sorry.
It's important, Doctor.
Yeah, sorry.
Dr. White.
Get rid of that. So one of the things that, I've been very blessed in my education career. When I was an educator, I got an opportunity to represent the state of Missouri and be part of We the People, because of social studies, go to D.C. and represent Missouri, and that was a lot of fun. And then, as assistant principal, I got to be assistant principal of the year for Southwest Missouri and represent the region as a assistant principal representative for Principal Association. Then
and this is at Joplin?
This was this is actually when I was leaving Joplin. Yes, Joplin, and then Marshfield. Okay. So assistant principal there of the year, consummate professional of the year when I was at Marshfield, and then while I was the principal at Buffalo High School, got selected as principal of the year, and then was on the state board for principals, which was really fun. So
sounds like some legit titles.
No, and one of those things, and I always say this, and this is how awards work. You win awards when your staff is doing an incredible job, when the people around you are doing an incredible job. As coaches, I was a coach in the past too. If I got any kind of awards, it was because my kids and the people I was working with did an exceptional job. So
and humble too.
Well, I talked about servant leadership. If we're successful, it's the team.
Right. So you're going into year 5 next year as
sir.
superintendent, and for those that don't know, superintendents don't really last long in any district. The average tenure is
2.8 right now.
2.8 years, and we're going into year 5 with Dr. White. So, there's so many benefits to having one person be in a continued position for a long time to see the change that you're trying to be as a district. So taking all that into account, having been here 4 years, going on 5, what are some things that you're proud of in your tenure as superintendent in Diamond?
I would say more than anything else, it's about the kids. I mean, if we just boil it back, this, all of our goals come back to what's best for the students at Diamond and what's best for our community. And so we're going to make everything about Wildcat Nation. So I'm proud of our kids. We've had a lot of success in academics, athletics, activities throughout the board, and that's the part that I'll always be the most proud of. Then with our staff and everybody on the team that's trying to make that magic happen, watching our teachers and our principals and our paras, our bus drivers have success. I mean, I get just as excited about one of our bus drivers winning a bus rodeo for safety, and our guys. You've seen me brag about our maintenance department, our bus department, because those are our first touch points for kids, and so I think all throughout, you talked about the change. Change is easy to start. It is very difficult to sustain.
Yeah.
And so sustaining something that's quality and has high expectations and high goals has to come through the daily grind, the hard work, and that's what we try to do here. We try to build that grit into our kids, build that grit into our staff. That when times get tough, we get tougher. So I'm just really proud of that.
So I know with Be the Change, there's been a lot of change in the last 4 years. I know just from a building project standpoint, we've had our secure entrances, lots of updates to our athletics facility, as well as something that's come in to the elementary, hopefully finish in here in August. Do you want to talk any more about what that's going to look like?
So 4 years ago, we started I did a needs analysis of the district. So I came in day one and, walked every square inch of the district. Brought in engineers and experts and said, I wanted a true evaluation of everything that was going on in our district, from every ceiling tile to every AC unit. And so we went through every single square inch of our district and all of our property, and we did a true needs analysis and started identifying goals for the district on facilities, instructional and academic, and then all of our activities as well. And so we started going through that. We've set our CSIP goals up based around that. And
what CSIP stand for?
Comprehensive School Improvement Plan.
Okay.
And so it used to be Continuous School Improvement Plan, but and it is continuous because it is something that's changing and growing based on the needs of our kids, each year.
Yeah.
So we reset that. As you know, we have building school improvement plans based off of that as well for each of the buildings. And so, we went into phase one. So we did a 3-phase facility plan 3 years ago, and we completed phase one this summer before we started the school year, and that was all the new secured entrances for each of the buildings.
Yeah,
and
which has worked great for the high school, I can say.
It's incredible, and it's just something, I had to prioritize those and work through that with the school board of prioritizing what was the most important. Safety was number one.
Yeah.
So we worked through that and finished that this summer. And also we had to stage phase one to prepare for phase two. And phase two was the new early childhood center. One of the first goals I was given by the district, by John Henson and the school board when they hired me, was that how are we going to grow enrollment? We'd had a slip for about 13, 14 years straight of enrollment decreasing or staying the same over those time period. And so that was the first question they asked me. Is how are you going to lead this? And it was about really just building relationships with people. So I started calling families. I cold called every family that had left our district, or tried to anyway, with the good numbers that I had the first summer. And then the second summer, calling, finding out. We sent out needs assessments. We sent out surveys, and we're just asking people, what do you love about Diamond? I met with each of the senior groups, classes. I met with all the alumni that I could meet with and said, what do you love about this place? And then, I feel like it's our job to tell our story.
Yeah.
And so we tell our story well, as you know, this is part of it.
Yeah,
This is part of our communication plan to tell our story and communicate out what's going on, the great things that are happening in Diamond, and then also to set that standard. Because with that high standard comes accountability. And people need to be able to trust that we're going to do what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And so we work very hard at that, and are very diligent about that.
Yeah, transparency is super important. So moving in, looking at the future, what's kind of in store for Diamond Schools? What should people be excited about?
So, it's kind of that build it and they will come. Enrollment is coming. we're up 115 kids. We're up, for a school district over 15% in 3 years. Our assessed evaluation is up $22 million in 3 years as a school district. And so we are growing, and we're primed to be, honestly, I think one of the fastest growing communities in this area. I've seen that before in school districts, and I've seen that before in areas and communities. And when a community gets behind a school district, there's really nothing that can stop them. So I'm just really excited. So we're building for that, and we're growing in the elementary areas. We're growing in the right places where young families are choosing us. That shows us that you're a healthy district when young families choose your district. So
I know one of my goals in this podcast and a lot of the videos that I do here at the high school is to really showcase the district, which is why I try and have people from all different ends of the district coming into the podcast and just other things we can do, so that people coming into our district or looking to move into the area can say, wow, Diamond Schools has it going on. This is where I want to bring my kids. That being said, as a superintendent, what message do you want to give to those people who might be considering moving into Diamond and making this their new home?
Absolutely. This is the thing. I mean, so this is that first touch point when they come to our district, I want them to say, wow,
yeah,
they take care of their facilities. They take care of their school district. When I come in, I'm going to find a smiling face or 10 smiling faces. And you only get that first chance to have a first impression.
Absolutely.
And so, and we talk about that, we talk about that all the time with each of our buildings and each of our secretaries and each of our, assistants, is just, making sure when people come here, they have a good experience.
Which, let me stop in and just say we have amazing secretaries, be it Beth and Lindsay at central office or Kelly here at high school, Jinx, Christy Harb. I mean, they're all amazing, and we're blessed beyond belief to have these ladies representing our district for these new families that come in.
I've been lots of places. I would put our staff and our administrative assistants, our administrators, our Board of Education up against anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we believe in what we do. We care about doing it right, and that's the thing I care about the most. I care about our kids getting the very best experience, our parents and our community getting the very best experience, and that's the thing in education. Sometimes we get a little bit sensitive, and we start feeling sorry for ourselves because of what we don't have.
Sure.
Since day one, our word is hope, and in our district, we're going to build hope. And we're always going to continue to deliver that to our students, because education is about the future. And so when people come here, they don't need to be walking away thinking, yeah, those people don't want to be there. They need to walk away and say, man, those people love their job.
Yeah.
They love serving kids.
So in closing, what, if anything, do you want to touch on, highlight that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about, or that you want to leave with the community to kind of wrap up our conversation for today?
I would just say thank you. The overwhelming response for our bond issue last year, as a superintendent, I got to finish up the previous bond issue from the track, and because that got kind of stalled with COVID.
Sure.
And so I've got to be part of 2 bond issues here as far as that piece, fiscally as the financial officer. But then, I want to thank our community for their support. We had softball districts the other night in Mount Vernon, and you would think all of Diamond was there.
Yeah.
We had more people than Mount Vernon did. We're going to host our quarterfinals this upcoming Tuesday, and I expect every one of our Diamond Wildcats to come out, and they'll come out strong. And that's been the part that just, I think you experienced this. When we have open house, they come out of the woodworks. Yeah. We may only have 700, 800 kids here, close to 800 kids in the district, but we'll have 3,000 people show up for a community event.
It is amazing.
And so you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the Diamond Wildcats out there, Wildcat Nation, and I believe in you, and we're going to do our best to honor them and honor the great history here.
Well, I think there's great things happening at Diamonds, from academics to athletics, and by the time this posts, we'll see how our girls did on their state run for softball, which actually will be right around that time. Yeah. So great things happen at Diamond. Hey, I want to thank Dr. White for coming in and gracing us with this time. Have a wonderful summer break, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. Love you guys. Peace.